Sydney FC international duty forces Steve Corica into 3 changes with Redmayne, Grant and McGowan all in Kuwait. Thomas Heward-Bell starts at goalkeeper for just the 5th time at A-League level. Made his debut for Central Coast way back in 2015 and has played just once for Sydney at this level 2 seasons ago in Adelaide. At right back, the versatile Paolo Retre is preferred to youngster Callum Talbot, who makes the bench, while Ben Wallen is in for McGowan as the left-sided stopper. They are wearing black armbands to pay tribute to Paolo's grandfather, who passed away through the week, and also honour the life of Brandon O'Neill, a favoured son of Sydney FC, whose father passed away through the week as well. Brandon, hope you're okay, and to Paolo Retre's family as well. Thoughts with you. So Luke Bratton playing against his former club where he won 3 championships. Now he is walking along a very fine line in this game. He's on 7 yellow cards. Obviously they need to give him a game, otherwise it would have been 3 weeks without a game for Bratton. But 1 more yellow card, 1 slip, and that's probably why he's going over to the referee right now, Ali Reza Fagani, just saying, look after me, buddy. If I accidentally slip into someone, please no yellow. I really want to play a semi-final. Luke Bratton, pivotal for Sydney FC in every game they play. And Corey Brown, who at half-time, according to Warren Moon, was in all sorts of bother physically against Perth, but he battled through it. He was literally lying on the floor, and they thought there was no way on earth this guy can go on in this game. He did, and played so well in that second half to help Brisbane secure that final spot. Here he is again. He's extremely important for Raw down that left side, where he's provided 7 assists for the campaign so far. So we're about set on the eve of the finals, and there's a big chance that these two could play in that second week of the finals if Brisbane win this game and then win the one after it as well. But we're away in Redcliffe, and Robbie Slater will be interesting. We've spoken a bit about Brisbane and their young players, but Sydney, a different look with these 3 changes with players away on international duty.
Yeah, and it gives them a wonderful opportunity for finals football. And, you know, they're big losses. You know, 3 out of your starting back 5, if you include the keeper, of course. So, yeah, the more games they obviously can get, and that's why Steve Corica has put out the team that, you know, that he wants to take into the finals next week, or for them the week after. But it's crucially important.
O'Shea, a quick release.
A little bit too far. So he's key in this game, and I wonder if Brisbane are aware of Bratton's situation, because sometimes if they are, they might try to intimidate him a bit. He's got a lot of experience. But for Brisbane, this kid, Alex Parsons, looking forward to seeing him this afternoon. What a talent.
Yeah, it's an interesting one with Bratton, because Brisbane, they win this, and then, okay, I'm not discounting MacArthur's chances at all, because they've won at this particular ground. Brisbane win this, they play MacArthur next weekend. Central Coast will play Adelaide, but then if they win that, they play Sydney, who, if Luke Bratton does something silly this afternoon, he won't be playing that. So, a little
game within the game.
Spin-off storyline, if you like. It's out to Josh Brindle South, really adjusted well back into A-League football after 6 or 7 years without. Bratton chops that one out. Really firm-looking surface, and it's not always been the case this season at Redcliffe, Robbie. There's been monsoonal-type conditions on occasion.
Yeah, we had a couple of games, one in particular, that probably would have been called off if not for congestion around the fixtures, and Brisbane obviously had all those games in hand. And they've done so well to sit where they are right now.
Babo out to Retre, trying to pick his spot. It was Nikovic waiting, didn't get to him. Barbarousis wins the ball. Daly got in the way. Barbarousis pleading for a foul, not given, and Brisbane can get out down the right side through Brindle South. O'Shea. Daly. A pretty balanced lineup in the middle of the park to start games with Akbari and O'Shea, but Akbari not needed this afternoon. Jesse Daly getting his chance. He'll have to be on his game, because you know how much joy Sydney get in the positions in the pocket, Robbie, with Nick trying to get Ninkovic on the ball and facing forward to bring in Bobo and also Lafondra.
Yeah, well, that's the threat, and for Brisbane, it's cutting out the service to those two. And we talk about the aerial threat of Bobo, but I tell you, like Lafondra, not the biggest striker, but he's very good in the air as well.
Woolen did everything he could to foul Danzaki there, but somehow the Japanese youngster kept his feet. O'Shea. Little area for Wenzelhalls. Early chance. Hewitt Bell kept his hands away.
And a lot of that service to the front players comes through O'Shea. This one he threads through, takes it on first times, swivels. It's a go past him, first time effort. But can't keep it down, so no problem for Hewitt Bell.
Wenzelhalls, the second half of the season, hasn't quite been in the goal-scoring touch he was early on, but always a constant threat. His movement, always making centre-backs second-guess themselves. It's the Barbarousis. Bobo slow to get to his feet. Danzaki was on the ground as that was coming in, so it looks like Ricky Danzaki has started centrally with Parsons, but they will rotate that front three of Brisbane Roar. Joey Champness on the bench for this one to start. Juen, zipper ball out to Brindle South, but cut out by King. And Caceres. Ninkovic looking to get into space so Caceres can play in, but they have to go back. Sydney pretty well set up. Brisbane, it has been a feature this season. They do have the strike power to hit a team on the break. Sydney looking to become the first ever team in the A-League era to win 3 straight grand finals. A good performance this afternoon to carry in, because they won't play for another 2 weeks now that they've settled the final series. It's 3 straight weekends now, the final series fixtures, instead of the possible midweek elimination finals. No Champions League. We'll wait the AFC and their adjudication as to what they think of Australian teams not playing in the Champions League, but you completely understand it from the club's point of view. Bratton. Switch to Warland, natural left footer. In the back there is Barbarousis, but he inadvertently brings down Jesse Daly. Both sides pretty happy with what they're doing at the moment, it seems, Robbie, but Brisbane in no rush to put pressure on the ball. Perhaps after a midweek game, you just want to settle into the game before you start rushing. Yeah,
I think it's the respect Brisbane have for Sydney as well. And it's also psychologically, because as we mentioned around kick-off time, is that both these teams are assured of a home final. Of course, Sydney finishing second, they'll have that week off, but Brisbane know that they're going to host the final as well. So a rather tentative start from both.
Parsons quickly surrounded. Caceres wins it back. Look for the long option first. Palaretro. Lafondra wanted it right down in the channel, not centrally. And with Rattray still a little advanced, it allows Corey Brown to get on the end of that. And it falls to Parsons, straight at Hewitt Bell, who palms away. Unfortunately for him and Sydney, it went straight to Caceres. Doesn't second-guess himself when in the box, does he, Alex Parsons? Robbie?
Oh, terrific power behind the shot, Hewitt Bell. Good height for him, but still a good reaction save, but Parsons put himself in the penalty box, and you see how he shifts the ball. Corey Brown passes it in, shifts it straight away with that strike, with that wonderful left foot of his.
Bratton, Rattray and Lafondra. Quick ball, early ball, just beyond Barbarousis, but corner for Sydney. Beautiful day. Couldn't ask for better conditions. Just north of Brisbane. And a healthy crowd in as well, despite the time slot, with a lot of football going on right now around Australia. Park football. Bratton's corner. Rising is Warland, I think it was. He's calling Bobo. Perhaps it was him as well. Hard to tell in the sun, but point is it hit the crossbar and Brisbane get away with one.
Well, it's the first corner of the game, and a thumping header crashed against the crossbar. Jamie Young beaten. A great leap. I think it was Warland. But you're right. It was both Warland and Bobo there.
King half went into that challenge with Brindle South. Now it's Brisbane with a corner.
Delivery was good. There's Bobo, and it was him.
Yeah. Same haircut.
Thumping header. Jamie Young just watched the crash against the crossbar. Great delivery, but I think Warren Moon will be overjoyed that he gets a free header on the edge of the 6-yard box there, Bobo.
Brown. Looking for Neville. He and Alex Wilkinson were doing a little tango. Ten minutes in. Sydney with the best chance that we've just seen the last minute or so. Other than that, pretty even contest so far. Brisbane to improve their record against Sydney FC, the Sky Blues, with just 2 wins in their last 14, though 3 straight draws going into this one. Total dominance from the Sky Blues. Warland. Simninkovic. Lovely ball to Lafondra. He's always on that last line. He was just beyond that last line, though. It was a late flag for offside. Neville spins around. Mid-season inclusion, Scott Neville at the back. Brisbane. O'Shea looking long again. He loves that outlet, but Corey Brown was nowhere near that one.
No, he's missing in action, and that's been a feature in this early period. O'Shea dropping right back into the back line to get the ball. And obviously it's something they've talked about or worked on. That long diagonal ball out to Brown.
Warland. Been a busy schedule for Brisbane Roar to see out the regular season. Playing once every 3 or 4 days all throughout May. Just to round it off, another midweek game before this one. They're out here, Sydney. Rattray. Options in field. Bratton joins in. All to Lafondra. His touch is just a little heavy. Everyone behind the ball for Brisbane. Ninkovic. Waiting for King. There is the cross. It's way too big for everyone. Moon done so well as Brisbane Roar coach, and these young players that he's brought through and trusted. Good job on their hands here. Another chance for Sydney. That was Lafondra throwing himself at it. Another chance for Sydney.
Super ball from Rattray, and you see how Lafondra attacks the ball. That's how he opened the scoring in their last game against Adelaide. A terrific 4-1 win for them. The Sky Blues down in Adelaide. And he loves to get across his defender.
King. It's a narrow path down the line. It would have been extraordinary if it got through to Nikovic. Brindle South was in the way. Bratton to drop deep, so the two 26ers for either side. There's basically centre-backs in possession for the respective sides, but both got away with that. He nutmegged Danzaki somehow. King will need to be good to keep possession off that. He can't, and Brisbane have it back.
Yeah, on both sides, pretty similar in the way they're attacking this game. They both drop off and allow the centre halves to have possession in their own half.
O'Shea in space. Switch off for a little period there, Sydney, and Wenzel Halls can't get it on his left. Brown clips across in, and Brindle South had a go at it, but shanked it over the back of the stand almost.
Looked like he was in two minds whether to play this back across the face. Just dinks this one up. Corey Brown, it's a decent half chance if he can't control the volley.
Thomas Heward-Bell. So Holyrood's hopeful, but some of the guys going for a berth with the Olympic team, they've been playing regular football. Tray over the top. Barbarouses is kept on by Neville. Costa Barbarouses straight at Young, straight through him. And Sydney FC have the lead. Costa scores again against the club where he won a championship about a decade ago.
Well, they fell asleep, Brisbane, and Barbarouses makes them pay. He's come from deep because he's not playing up top, so he's come from that sideline. They don't pick him up. That's a wonderful finish. And you can say Jamie Young might have got a hand to it, but once you go low and that hard across the keeper, it's really the perfect finish. There he's hugging the touchline. Normally he's inside on the pocket, and they just let him go. And he punishes them with a really good finish from Barbarouses.
Scott Neville there, a hopeful look over his shoulder to pray that a flag went up. It didn't. And Barbarouses, look at that, 11 goals now against Brisbane Roar. He scored 12 goals for them in that championship winning season, the first one under Ange Postecoglou. 2010-11 season, but Costa still scoring. It's his 76th A-League goal, puts him above Alex Bross, clearly now 5th all-time in this competition. There's O'Shea, going to hit back for Brisbane immediately, looking for south, but the ball wasn't quite on, and King will just shepherd it just out of play. We do see Sydney like to use that right-hand side, but that time it was the fullback, not Ryan Grant, on the end of it. He basically plays as a winger, Ryan Grant, when they're in control of Sydney, but different role for Barbarouses, starting a little deeper, but still utilising that pace down the sides.
But it was all a little bit simple, wasn't it? I mean, it's just a ball down the right-hand side, and he's clean through. And they just got themselves not organised well down that right-hand side. And as you said, Barbarousse was just hugging the touchline, and it all looked rather easy, didn't it?
Courtney Perkins sent a bullet out to Corey Brown. Just then he couldn't quite come up with the first touch required. Here's the goal again, what you were talking about, Robbie. Just punished them down this right-hand side.
Yeah.
Costa, whack.
Yeah, so you had Corey Brown caught, well, certainly high and wide, and Courtney Perkins stayed inside, but it was just a simple ball down the line. And Barbarousse is very direct, and it was a really good finish. The power of the strike took it past Jamie Young, who had a hand very close to it, but there was too much power behind it.
Lafondra on for Ninkovic. King sorting himself out there. Bratton, always that link play. There's that difference with no Ryan Grant. As soon as Bratton usually looks up, he zips that ball out to Ryan Grant. It should be too much for King. Bratton drifts over to that side, gets the ball back. First time diagonal ball out to Ryan Grant, but Palo Retre was a little withdrawn in his positioning.
Well, Retre's movement from right fullback is dependent on where Barbarousse runs. Because Barbarousse is playing as a number 10 inside, but his natural instinct, we saw with the goal, he has played quite a bit on the right side as a right winger, particularly with Victory, if you remember his time there. So if he goes wide, it does block that channel. Retre can't go into it.
Brindle South. Neville. O'Shea, as you'd expect, little touches. Joanne backed himself there with that ball out to Brown. Perkins, Kai Troen, who, talk of fines, Alex Parsons at one end of the park for Brisbane this season. Young Kai Troen is almost a fixture of the starting lineup for Warren Moon, and that even when Tom Aldred and Macaulay Gillespie are available. Really impressive season. Courtney Perkins, another player at the start of his career. The Hall's had time to turn there. Actually does. Parsons and Brown, his first time cross. King was well positioned, and away goes Ninkovic, so Sydney can hit on the break here. A lot of touches for Milosh, one side of the park to the other, and Retre. Lafondra with width down this right side. And it all happened too quickly for Retre on the end of it, but a good counter-attack from Sydney. Good football all round, actually, because it was a nicely worked manoeuvre from Brisbane in the first place.
Well, Ninkovic, you don't see him run that far with the ball, but he was looking for options, and it came to the right side. There's the goal scorers.
Good list. Costa, 5th all time now. Bessart, and take some catching at the top there. Bessart, Barisha. Just beyond Corey Brown, that. The malign figure sometimes, Barbarousse's. Home fans at Sydney games this season, just passing on what I've heard on the sideline. They've been a bit frustrated with him in front of goal, but still got 8 for the campaign. Sydney down the left, Ninkovic giving away a foul. Brisbane need a spark at the moment, Robbie, or they're going okay?
Well, they're finding it hard to find their front plays. We've hardly cited Parsons. And Sydney very well organised. That's why they've got the best defence in the competition.
Shea outside of the boot. And you heard Steve Corica saying Costa, because here comes Corey Brown, who never really had it under control.
this being their preferred outlet, Corey Brown down the left-hand side, but that ball was very difficult. He was under pressure. First from Barbarousis, and then once it bounced, it certainly was in Sydney's favour.
Brisbane have done well to put themselves in this position. The home final coming on 3 of their last 4. It's Newcastle, Melbourne City and Perth, those games. The season was really kick-started right at the start, winning 4 of their first 5. Had a bit of a lull after that, but certainly come roaring back. And that's with the inclusion and trust put in Warren Moon in his young players. Sorry to keep on bringing it up, but they've impressed. Giving their chance, taking their chance. Mixed with that vital experience you need, Robbie, in every football side. It's worked pretty well. Here's Brindle South.
Yeah, that should have gone into O'Shea there. It goes on the second pass, but the first one should have gone to him. And that's where they need O'Shea, further up the pitch.
Not quite in the realm of like a Diego Castro, but when Castro playing for Perth, he used to drop deeper and deeper if things weren't going Perth's way, and it didn't really help anyone because you want to play like him in the final third. And some of O'Shea is very, very deep to start things for Brisbane. Wanting to be that last link before it gets to the front line. Truen. Pressure coming here from Sydney, and they're going to win it back, are they? Yep, Babo gets it, and Retre played forward through Caceres quickly there, but elected not to. Paolo just wants a bit of a rest. Bratton giving him the ball, saying turn. I want to know about the running behind just there. He's just getting his breath back. Wilkinson. No pressure.
Yeah, there's certainly a lack of intensity from Brisbane at this point. I go back to my original point just after kickoff, because psychologically they know they've got a home final next week. It can take the edge off a player mentally.
Yeah, win this, it's definitely MacArthur. They've split the results this season. Warman deals with that. Bratton under a bit of pressure. Please, a little flick and keep it in, and just undercooked the pass a bit to Bobo, so it can't get too carried away, but still, very few can do what he just did. Here's O'Shea. Sure that was intended for Dylan Wenzel-Halls, but he makes the best out of it, and Wenzel-Halls with his left didn't quite get the power desired behind it, but it's still alive here for Brisbane. Courtney Perkins. And Wenzel-Halls, but Bratton read that. So win this, Brisbane. I'll set up a game against MacArthur, and they lost to back in February here in midweek game. Beat down at Campbelltown in April. And if Central Coast can find a way to leap above them, they'll play Adelaide. And those two results too have been split between Brisbane and Adelaide this season. So no clear favourite in terms of mental edge after what we've seen so far this season. Certainly helps playing a home final. Full house sign hopefully will go up here at Redcliffe next weekend. Out through the right here, through Scott Neville, the Brisbane Roar. Nearly half an hour in, it's Sydney with a 1-0 advantage. Costa Barbarousis with his 8th goal of the campaign. And the difference, Babo hit the woodwork with a thumping header from a corner. A couple of little challenges for Thomas Heward-Bell to deal with. Nothing clear cut, especially in this last 10 minutes. They haven't been able to cut apart Sydney. by any stretch, Robbie.
No, they've had a lot of possession, particularly here in the middle third. But as I said, they really sided Parsons. You go all the way back to that strike he had. Brisbane's best chance in this first half so far. Only chance.
I think he's got the feeling of a side that's trying to find its rhythm in the game after the emotion of that midweek game against Perth. A lot went into that. A lot's gone into the last month to put themselves in this position. Dan Zaki has been key to it as well. We've barely sided him, siding front player, and again it falls down, trying to work its way into the final third for Brisbane. Parsons that time with the errant ball. O'Shea just shoved Bratton out the way. Brown wins it, wins the 50-50 with Rattray. Wenzel Halls into the box. Pops across into an area, and Brindle South, that's the second shank of the afternoon, but at least he's getting into a position to allow him to shoot.
Yeah, he comes in late, but it's a wild shank in the end. Wenzel Halls, normally you see him pull the trigger from there, but he's cut it back. He's coming onto this at full pace and slices it off the outside of his boot. That was a better attack from Brisbane. Entry into the penalty box.
Josh Brindle South, 2 goals already for the campaign. Not bad for a right back. 2 goals for his A-League career, and this is just his 20th start. A real story of perseverance. 28 years of age for Josh Brindle South. Bratton feeds Barbarousis. A little untidy there from the Kiwi. Bratton was the option, if he could look over his shoulder there, Barbarousis, to keep Sydney going forward. O'Shea. Brown kind of epitomises Brisbane's opening half an hour, just not quite with it.
Yeah, and a bit sloppy, and that was a good ball. O'Shea punched that one out to Corey Brown, just took his eye off it. And this time it's Sydney's turn to be sloppy, and the last 10 minutes has been pretty much that. A lot of the game has been stuck in that middle third. Even Warren Moon looks a bit subdued.
Yeah.
Well, you were touching on it. He's done a fantastic job. And, you know, they were under pressure a couple of months ago when they did have a poor period. They always had those games in hand, but you were just wondering whether they were going to pick up the points they needed.
Yeah, they went 8 without a win at one stage, and they just couldn't score a goal either, but figured out how to fix that. Bow in space. Lafondra, first time shot coming for Young, but it's straight at him.
He gets into a similar position as Barbarousis, a little bit more difficult. But he had nothing else on. He had to take the strike on. And a comfortable save for Jamie Young. Ball played in by Bobo there. Just let it run across him, and a bit of a scuff of a shot, really.
Well, it's helped turn Sydney's season not around, but certainly helped in terms of results. Can't be a coincidence that the 4 games he's played so far, Sydney have won all 4. Hasn't been the reason why they've won all 4 games, but certainly him being there makes Sydney a better side. Just dwell, willing to give the ball up. Saying sorry for Adam Lafondra, always a good one that you get from a player that's deeper, Robbie, as the man that's busting his you-know-what to get into a positive area with a sprint. Get turned around and say sorry, sorry, sorry. Retro looking forward this time. The Barbarousas. Bozzy used to do that to you, didn't he? He'd tell you to sprint off and then go, oh no, I won't throw you.
All the time.
In behind this time is Barbarousas. Frees a bird again. Assessing his options. There was no one in the 6-yard box. And in the end, Barbarousas just puts it into the side netting. What a chance.
Well, he's in a similar position from where he scored, and I'm pretty sure that's what he was trying to do, was reproduce the kind of strike that saw him open the scoring, but he got it terribly wrong. I think he went for too much power. Ball from Bratton is superb. He sort of walks in here. He completely mishit it.
O'Shea over the top, finding Wenzel Halls, battling and shooting and swerving away from Hewitt Bell. It was an outstanding touch, the keeper. And the cross that came back was from Brindle South, out safely for a throw-in for Sydney. But wow, what a save.
What a strike and what a save. Look at this move in the air. It's bending away. It's going for that far corner. Tremendous strike and a really good save from Hewitt Bell. Hasn't had a lot to do, but pulled off a first-class save there.
Wenzel Halls might have a bit to do again here. Hewitt Bell nearly goes back to Wenzel Halls. Daly just beyond him. Takes it off Brindle South to O'Shea. Jay O'Shea will have a pop. That's always rising. Good moments here for Brisbane.
Yeah, that was the spark they needed. And you see Wenzel Halls, you know, as soon as when he's receiving a ball, you can see he's just got one thing on his mind. Is where can I get a shot off? That one comes back from Jay O'Shea and had to take it quick. Couldn't control it, but great action from both players. Wenzel Halls with the strike and a fantastic save from Hewitt Bell.
Yeah, Hewitt Bell was taking his time here and switching sides. Not so pretty in pink for the home fans, but yeah, Hewitt Bell has actually played the last couple of weeks in the NPL in Sydney. Sky Blues knew that he would be coming in. He's the #1 option to replace Andrew Redmayne, so give him game time instead of just sitting on the pine in case something went wrong with Redmayne in an A-League game. Adam Pavlicic, who got to go the Champions League, filled that role. Here's Parsons. Spread the life a bit here. Brisbane, yeah, Parsons got his wires crossed with himself right there.
Yeah, well, he was looking for a bit of movement, and he said he wasn't sure whether to cross it. In the end, he allowed the Sydney defender just get in front of him. They do come up with the throw, so they're still in Sydney territory.
Win. He's urged to shoot, trying to place it. There we go. Centre back doesn't get too many opportunities like that. Zaki has been marked out of the game on it.
Yeah, he's had a difficult first half. Every time he's had the ball, he's been under pressure and lost it on that occasion.
That was by luck, not by design, out to Caceres to keep it going for Sydney out to the left and King. It's good defending from Danzaki. Ninkovic tried to put the move on. Danzaki read it. And this builds some confidence. Hit little ball in. Parsons, O'Shea joining in, high up. Wenzel Halls. Bratton was alert there defensively. He knew he was going to cut back on his right. It's still alive, O'Shea. Chips it over, Brindle South. First time ball across. It's a little deep, and Hewitt Bell claims.
Yeah, good position found by O'Shea, and not a good cross that. There's two Brisbane players in the middle, and he hits it straight at Hewitt Bell, but good little period for Brisbane.
Yeah, a bit of spark about them all of a sudden.
And at the start of this, by Danzaki's winning of the ball. The end result, little ball over the top, and he's looking to get it across the face and too close to the keeper.
Luke Bratton on those 7 yellows. He's never looked in danger in this first half of adding to that tally and missing the next game. It's a nice turn from Lebeau. Ninkovic. Quick quick feet.
Yeah, and we've hardly seen in the last 10 minutes Ninkovic, because most of the balls come down this side.
Rettray's cross is straight at Corey Brown, who in turn kicks it straight Paolo Rattray for a goal kick. A bit of tempo about Brisbane now. They want to get forward. They're on top. Parsons, before he's barreled, quickly turns to Danzaki and O'Shea. He's the guy for Brisbane in this area. Courtney Perkins, well to little, didn't have time. So Halls cleans up. Neville, Daly, Parsons, O'Shea. The chance brewing here for Brisbane. Brown across the ground. Parsons nudged off it. Tries the trick, but it's straight at Heward Bell.
Well, he's done well to get anything on it. But a terrific attack. Started on the right-hand side, and Corey Brown, 7 assists this season, trying to get his 8th, and Parsons, the ball's behind him, so he's done well to swivel, but can't get any power on that. And it's straight at Heward Bell, but certainly Brisbane asking some questions now of Sydney in the last 10.
Josh Brindle South. Getting into really advanced positions, both wide players for Brisbane. Doing it well at the moment. The team very much on top. Zaki, lovely turn, gets away from Caceres and has a go, doesn't get everything on it, but it's back for Parsons. And his favoured left, scuffs it himself for a goal kick.
Yeah, really wasn't there to hit. Right beneath him, and he had to try and dig it out and generate power. It was virtually impossible. Smart little turn there from Danzaki on Caceres. He mishit his shot, and then Parsons did exactly the same thing.
It's a show to... They talk of players, get yourself in the game, get yourself in the contest, and that's exactly what Riku Danzaki's done in the last 5 minutes or so, blocking that, stealing the ball off Ninkovic and then going forward, positive run. In that moment there on Caceres, it's the first time he's been able to get rid of a marker playing close attention, and all of a sudden, he's in the game. After being quiet for about half an hour. Rattray. Denzel Halls wasn't making it easy for him. Sydney just need a period to feel in possession. Again, it's one of those unforced errors, if you want to call it that, using a tennis term, that allows Brisbane to potentially ask a couple more questions as we're in the last 5 minutes of this first half. But Redcliffe, Costa Barbarouses, and his goal, his 11th against Brisbane. That's the difference so far. Brindle South. Duran. Courtney Perkins. It's an intelligent run from Parsons. It's back to Denzel Halls. He's allowed to get it in the box there. Surprising lack of urgency from Sydney FC to try and win it back there. They do get out apropos. Lovely drop of the hips on Courtney Perkins, and nearly plays in Ninkovic. Live still here if they can win it. That was an important intervention from Courtney Perkins, and Brisbane can go back the other way. Brindle South urged on this healthy gathering in Redcliffe. Gets it back the right back. Cross a deflection. That was a tired-looking attempted clearance from Warland. O'Shea. Out to Brindle South. Defending narrowly, Sydney. Daly. O'Shea first time. In the way was Bratton. Half-time can't come quick enough for Sydney. The way this is going. Brisbane don't want to break at the moment. When floated across the ground, but beyond everything and everyone. I don't know if you've noticed, Robbie, but it appears that Jay O'Shea is receiving or on the ball in a higher position as opposed to the first 20 minutes when he was very, very deep.
Yeah, definitely. His starting position is 10 metres inside Sydney's half at the moment. The only thing they haven't really done is create really good chances from this possession in this period of controlling the ball.
Warland. Barbarousis to Saris. That's a good ball. It's working out well here for Sydney. Barbarousis on the end of this from Rattray. Lafondra turns, leaves it for Bobo. Can he get the shot away? He can't, but it looks like it's a corner.
It was kind of messy, that attack, wasn't it? Because Lafondra and Barbarousis ran into the same space. Really, you wanted probably Lafondra to peel off and get himself inside the box, but just both of them running in there, they dragged two defenders instead of one. It was their best attack for quite some time.
It was.
Now, this is the side where Bobo crashed against the crossbar early in the first half, early in this half, sorry. And can Bratton get another good delivery? No.
Quite possibly, if it's not the worst of his career, it might be in the grand final in terms of his set-piece delivery, which is usually so spot on. It was a tired-looking attempt. Minimum of an extra 60 minutes here in Redcliffe. Plenty of time for Sydney to create. Barbarousis is looking for a double. Getting a corner. Scott Neville is absolutely filthy. Sydney were allowed to play forward with the ease in which they did.
And Bratton will get another chance. It's very important here, this moment for Brisbane. Concentration. You don't want to concede another one right on the cusp of half-time. Sydney throw plenty of bodies in where Alex Wilkinson's up from the back. They're both the obvious target. Both centre halves, sorry.
Focus the call from Jamie Young. We've got another contender for the
grand final.
for the grand final.
Both were in the grand final.
It's extraordinary. Oh, Lafondra just goes smashing into Jesse Daly. No card, no more play. That's the end of the first half in Redcliffe. Jesse Daly's got an appointment with the physio in about 2 minutes' time, I'd say, after that one, just to check things out. But it was a good first half, and it could be split into two. Sydney FC certainly the better of the side when things open, and Costa Barbarousis took advantage of